Hello everyone, this is Andrew Kimmons with Kimmons Toolworks, and today I finally completed a set that I've been looking forward to doing a video about for at least the last couple of weeks. So it's a very extensive set, as you will see, quite time consuming, pretty extensive build, but it's complete, shipping out today, and I'm sure he looks forward to getting these in his hands. So without further ado, I will show you exactly what I'm talking about. And this is all one set. These all go together, all the same person. This is definitely one of the most extensive builds I've done this year, for sure. Especially being that these are all paring chisels. I mean, that's essentially like 2 blades, almost. Very extensive. This has been very time consuming. These are all in Cocobolo, all with end caps. These are in the socket tang style, the paring chisels are. And then we have some mortise chisels, some pretty large mortise chisels. Actually, the largest one I've ever made is right here. It's a 7/8. It's massive. That's a massive blade. I mean, it is huge. So that is the first and the only 7/8 out there. This is a 5/8. There's a few of these out there now. Not quite as massive as the 7/8. But the other thing I really wanted to show was this, because this is actually the smallest diameter paring chisel I've ever made. I've done 1/4 inch ones before, which this set contains a 1/4 inch, but I've never done an 1/8, and that is a 1/8 paring chisel with an 8-inch long blade. Straight as an arrow. That is not easy to do. Not easy to do and hit any appreciable Rockwell number. I mean, if you're trying to make one at 58, then yeah, it wouldn't be too hard. But these are not 58. These are right around 63. Yes, and the paring chisels, actually, they are at peak hardness for the first few inches, and then toward the back of the blade, they still remain at a usable hardness. They will come down to about 60 back here. So it's a gradual decrease in hardness. Helps give them a little bit of flexibility back here near the socket as well, because these are very long blades. And here's the 1/4 inch right here. It turned out beautiful. The grinds on that turned out really nice. I don't know if you can see the grinds. Getting quality grinds, precise quality grinds on a blade that small definitely is a bit of a task. And I'm very happy with the way that these turned out. This set also contains, in addition to the 1/8 inch and the 1/4, also contains a 3/8, a half, a 5/8, a 3/4, a 7/8, a 1, a 1 1/2, and a 2. And mind you, I have almost 200 different blade styles that I make, and you're welcome to order them at any time. All you have to do is email andrew@kimmonshandtools.com. It's andrew@kimmonshandtools.com, and tell me what you're looking for, and we can talk about it and talk about the options and discuss the pricing and everything, and get you a quote. So let's see, this one has a 1/4, a 3/8, a half, then the 5/8, and then the 7/8. So then this goes all the way up to the 2. That's a big 2-inch paring chisel. Turned out very nice. And that, all of these come lapped. Everything that leaves is lapped flat, in reference to a DMT. So, and all the DMTs are usually very precise. So here they are. These are shipping out. I need to get these packed and shipped out today. And I'm pretty sure he's probably pretty excited to get these. Some of the material in this build has been beautiful. Like, check out I put my favorite handle out of all of them on the 1-inch, because it seems to be a very commonly used size. So my favorite handle out of all the Cocobolo I had is paired with this 1-inch right here. And the grinds turned out fantastic. I'm actually a little bit nutty about the grinds. if you can't tell. Because, and it's something, let me pan back up here to me. It's something that a lot of people don't really discuss so much in the world of grinding, and belt grinding in particular, whether it be for tools or knives or whatever. Different abrasives have a different cut profile. And you hear all the time in, the world of metalworking that aluminum oxide is really not a sufficient substrate for grinding hardened steel. And that is half true. It is absolutely half true. It's not if your intention is to remove a lot of steel quickly and take deep cuts. That's where ceramic would come in. And ceramic belts are great for ripping out bulk. Zirconia belts also do pretty good and have a lot of longevity, but aluminum oxide belts, they don't. Hardened steel will tend to tear aluminum oxide belts apart. They don't last very long at all. But where they come in really well is for finishing on large surfaces where you're not going to be putting too much stress anywhere localized on one point on the belt. Like, for example, grinding the top of a chisel this big. That's an excellent application for an aluminum oxide belt because it takes off a very fine cut. And if you take, for example, you take 120 grit ceramic, you take 120 grit zirconia, and you take 120 grit aluminum oxide, they're all the same grit, very, very similar belts, but they're going to leave behind a different profile in the grind. And I don't like to finish in particular on ceramics as much as I do with aluminum oxide because you're going for a gentle, nice finish. You're not going for a, rip and tear look along the top of that blade. I like the grinds along the edges of the bevels to stand out more so. That looks like nice with a little bit more aggressive grind. So these are done with ceramic, but they all get polished afterward to a satin look. Because I don't like, and you really don't want just like a raw grind because you'll get corrosion, So it's nice to get that polish because if you polish, the more uniform a surface is, the more resistant to corrosion it is. So I've kind of played between the two worlds and do a satin finish where it's like I want to see the grinds. I don't want a full polish because in a lot of applications, full polish doesn't look very good. And this is one of those. In my opinion, mind you, this is opinion. I'm big on aesthetics, second to function, but aesthetics are very, very important to me. So this is why I get nerdy about abrasives in particular. And because they do different things. And it's the same with honing. Like you can take an 8,000 grit Waterstone and an 8,000 grit Oilstone and an 8,000 grit DMT. All of these things are going to function differently. Even though they're the same grit, they're totally different materials. And the profile of the actual mineral itself cutting the steel is totally different. And a perfect example of that is why I like the Belgian conical stones so much for straight razors, is because the structure, the dodecahedron structure, it's a rhombic dodecahedron structure of the garnets in a Belgian conical they form shallower cutting angles. It's not like if you take a quartz crystal or something like that, if you've ever held and looked at a quartz crystal, they form very sharp points, and it's like that. They're crystalline. It's a repeatable structure. Doesn't matter if it's this big or enormous. It's a repeatable same structure, hence, crystalline. But the rhombic dodecahedron forms, its peaks are really, really shallow cutting, really smooth. That and the garnets themselves tend to yield a little bit, and they'll break down. So they form a very, you're not going to get the sharpest edge in the world on a conical, but you'll get a sharp enough edge, and it'll be an extremely smooth edge. So I'm a little bit nerdy about abrasives, but comes with the territory. Anyway, that is an application that I like to use aluminum oxide for, so I tend to finish a number of things on aluminum oxide, even though it's not super efficient. It's not supposed to be, to remove the final, you know, maybe 100,000th of material. That doesn't need done super rapidly. So anyway, those are my thoughts and opinions, and I can't wait to get this in his hands. This is going to California, I believe, and I'm going to be moving on to some other stuff. This has been a big build. Very happy to see it come together. Couple new things here, the 7/8, and I'm pretty sure that 1/8" paring chisel is something totally new. So yeah, if you want any of this stuff or anything else, or this stuff in different handles or without the end caps or whatever, just send me an email, andrew@kimmonshandtools.com, and I can make it happen. We can talk about it. And if you're ready to do it, we can get you on the list and get the order in and get it going. So anyway, thank you for devoting this 11, 12-ish minutes, whatever it is, to checking out some pretty cool stuff. I think these are awesome. I hope everyone agrees. And I will see you next time.